Hello Scouts, back out around the fire pit today, and we're going to be doing some reflector oven apple turnovers. Now, it may sound like it's a little tricky with the reflector oven, but I can assure you that it's pretty easy to do. Probably the most difficult thing is getting your hands on a reflector oven. They are available commercially, and I have some other videos talking about different styles. Why don't we get started by setting up the reflector oven that we're going to be using today. This is a homemade one. It's pretty straightforward and simple. And start by opening it up. It's got a couple skewers that act as the pins to hold this together. That's one side. We'll do the other side. It connects very similar to like you'd have a pin on a hinge of a door. And then on the back, this handle or this support just swings out. This part slides in here. And then it has some hardware wire that is used to be the rack. And that fits on two little clips there. So we've got a reflector oven ready to go. Pretty simple. This could be backpacked. If you were backpacking in a place that allowed ground fires, it'd be a great lightweight way to be able to bake things on the trail. So let's get this situated in the fire pit. Now let's get going on making our apple turnovers. And it's going to start with some Gran's biscuits. And we're going to roll these out, and then we're going to add to the inside some apple pie filling. So why don't we get started opening our Gran's. There we go. We'll start with 2 biscuits. Now to roll out our Gran's, you can certainly bring a rolling pin to be able to do it, but let's just be frank and honest about this. Not too many patrol kits in a Boy Scout troop that contains the rolling pin. And I'm willing to bet you it could get forgotten once in a while. What we're going to do today is we're going to take a clean piece of foil and we're going to wrap it around the can. Now, you'll obviously want to do this before you open the can. So you're going to want to do all your sections, all your rolls, roll them out at once. And what we're going to do is we're going to coat. You're going to want to bring some flour with you. And the flour is going to prevent the items from sticking. Now, I just washed my hands. So I can assure you that. I'm also going to get a little on my washed hands. Then we're going to put a little bit on the aluminum foil used to wrap this can, because this will keep the rolls from sticking to our can. And what we're going to do is we're just going to simply take, apparently I need a little more flour. Let's get flour on the biscuits here. That'll help. And we're just going to take, and we want to roll these as flat as we can. I'm going to try to keep them round so that when I fold them in half it matches nicely. And then we'll go and flour both sides of this one as well and roll this out also. If it starts sticking, take and add a little more flour. Now with our 2 biscuits rolled out nice and flat in a circle, maybe not the most perfect circle in the world, but definitely perfect for what we're doing here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some pie filling, but we're only going to add pie filling to 1/2 of the biscuit that's rolled out. And it really doesn't take a lot of filling. I would say that's a little bit more than a tablespoon and a half. because you need to have a little bit of space on the edge here to be able to seal up this little pocket of apple goodness there. So now what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to pour a little bit of water in the cap of my small Nalgene bottle here. And then with my washed hand, I want to just take, and on one edge of this, I want to just moisten the edge a little bit. And I'm picking the edge that has the filling in it, just so I could keep track. And now what I'll do is I'll take and fold this over, and I'm just simply going to take and try to crimp it together here and give it a little pinch. I could even fold it over a little bit. And what I'm trying to do is get a nice seal so that when I am baking these in my reflector oven, they don't start to leak out the pie filling as it heats up. Remember, this pie filling is fully cooked and it's ready to go, so we don't have to worry about softening those apples because they're already softened right at the factory before they are placed in the can. So I have my little turnovers ready to go, and now what I'm going to do is I'll be using a pie screen today. And I love pie screens. They're aluminum, they're lightweight, they would be great if you were backpacking. And what they do is with that open bottom, they allow that heat to reflect also underneath and touch. Now I understand not every patrol is going to have access to a pizza screen. You may recognize this as a lid from a smaller pot that would be in your nesting pots. You can use this as well and put this on top of that raft. I'm staying away from putting it right on the grate because I want to ease in the cleanup. And if you cook it right on that top, right on that grate, you're going to probably make a mess and things are going to get stuck on that. So that's why we're going to use this pizza screen, or if we didn't have a pizza screen, we can use that pot lid. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pizza screen and away from the flames, just going to give it a coating of this canola oil because I want to try to prevent the turnovers from sticking to this pizza screen. The other thing that I'm going to do as well is I'm gently placing these on top of the pizza screen. If I were to form these in place on there and press down on that pizza screen, basically what I'm going to do is I'll end up attaching that biscuit to the pizza screen, which is going to make for a little more challenge getting them off and also cleaning up. Now that I have my little apple turnovers ready to go, I'm going to take and place them on the pizza screen inside of a reflector oven, reflecting heat off of the flames. What I'll do is once I get it set up, I'll watch and see how well they're baking and spin them rotate that pizza screen to make sure they're baking evenly. And if I need to, I'll move it in and out away from the fire to be able to adjust the amount of temperature and the amount of heat that's coming in contact with the reflector oven and reflecting onto our apple turnovers so that we make sure that they're baked evenly. Now we'll see how long it takes, and we'll keep an eye on these, and we'll keep coming back to see how well they're baking. Every 5 minutes or so, I'm going to take and I'm going to rotate my apple turnovers to make sure they bake evenly. Hello, Scouts. Well, we have apple turnovers. And what I did a short while ago, I was noticing that the bottoms were cooking faster than the top, or baking faster than the top. So I pulled out the pie iron and carefully flipped the turnovers over. So I guess that makes it a turnover. And then let the tops, what used to be the tops, bake with that hotter bottom heat. So let's take a look at what we have. So that was the bottom. And look at that, that's now the top. And honestly, the only thing that would be better than this is if we took and added a little confectionery sugar on the top of that. And we have a delicious baked apple turnover that we made in a reflector oven And it's a great opportunity out on the trail or even around the campfire and a traditional camp out. I hope this has inspired you to get out there and cook some more with your patrol and your troop, and that you expand your cooking techniques to include a reflector oven and recognize some of the great things that are right on the grocery store shelf that you can make delicious desserts on to share with your fellow scouts.